Some people have said that LSJL actually made them shorter instead of taller. There are a number of people who have reported height gains, but at the same time, there are a number of people who have reported height decreases. Okay? And that was actually a subject that was brought up to me in the vertical bodybuilding program that I had in 2017. One person talked to me about how some people who have done lateral synovial joint loading, in case you don't know what those letters stand for, lateral synovial joint loading, some people who have done that have actually experienced height decreases, multiple stories of that. And so in this video, I want to explain my thoughts on why you lost height with LSJL, if in fact you did lose height with it. Okay, now again, these are my thoughts, but I think they're right. Okay. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. And I'm just using my common sense and my experience. Doesn't mean that what I say is infallible, of course. But based on my knowledge, I put it all together, and out comes the common sense of it, okay? And here it is. It's very simple. Very, extremely simple. And there's 2 points to this. Please listen to both points. Don't listen to one point and think you got it. You think you know something. Listen to both points. This is what I recommend. Listen to both points, because it's important. Sometimes we take information and we only get the partial piece of it, and we get stuck and we don't realize why. And it's because we didn't stick around for the whole shebang. Get the whole deal, okay? Here's point number 1. Why people lose height with LSJL. When people apply lateral synovial joint loading, they create a hunger in their bone. Okay? Let me repeat that again. When people apply LSJL, whether they realize it or not, they are creating a hunger in their bones. And when you do not feed the hunger, when hunger is not fed in our biology, some sort of breakdown takes place. That is the natural state of our bodies. Okay? Are you still with me? Let's back up for a moment here. Let's back up. Just think. Before LSJL was applied, that person had a baseline level of nutrition. Right? They had a certain body weight that they were maintaining. Okay? They had a certain level of activity. A baseline level of activity. So, hey, if I was tech savvy, I would draw this out. But what I'm asking you to do at this point is just picture it. Okay? Picture a line, a horizontal line going across. Okay? There was a baseline of activity, that's one line, and there was a baseline of nutrition. And with both of these baselines, they were maintaining their weight. Let's just say the person weighed 155. Okay? With that person's baseline of activity, they could have been active. So what? It doesn't matter. They had a baseline of activity. Okay? Even if they're going to the gym an hour a day. So what? That's their baseline of activity. That's that line going across the screen. That flat line going across the screen. Horizontal. Okay? Their baseline of activity. Now, to support that level of activity, they had a baseline of nutrition. So picture another line. Horizontal line going across the screen. Okay? Baseline of activity supported by a baseline of nutrition. To support that activity, you have a baseline of weight that they are maintaining. It don't matter how fit they are or how unfit they are. If their baseline nutrition is supporting whatever baseline of activity that they have a particular weight that they are maintaining. Okay? And there is also a height that they are maintaining. Okay? Are you still with me? Baseline. So we're talking about baseline height, baseline weight, due to baseline nutrition supporting a baseline of activity. Okay? That's that person's status quo. That's their homeostate. That's how they exist. Okay? All those baselines and everything they do from day to day keeps all of that at a constant. Their weight is at a constant. Their height is at a constant because their nutrition is at a constant, supporting their activity, which is at a constant. All things maintaining the same. You with me? Okay. Now, what happens when in their activity they add LSJL? The baseline has changed. The activity has a spike. Okay, so remember that activity baseline, the activity line that you imagine going across the screen here? That activity baseline that you pictured? That flat horizontal line? Now picture that line with a little spike. Okay? And let's say that they do this LSJL 3 times a week. Okay? So picture this baseline. It represents a week. And picture 3 spikes. You know, like what you might see on a heart monitor. You know, boop. LSJL Monday. Boop. LSJL Wednesday. Boop. LSJL Friday. Okay. So, their nutrition has, so their activity have those spikes. Now, what about their nutrition? To maintain homeostasis, the nutrition needs to spike as well. I would say that their nutrition maintain the same level. Or very close to the same level. Maybe they were taking supplements. A lot of times I don't think they were. Because a lot of these guys who do LSJL, A lot of them, from when I was looking into it back in the day, they were not nutrition conscious. All they think about is the activity. They don't think that they don't think about the building blocks. They think they just do an activity, and everything's just gonna come. Everything's is gonna make sense. They don't think about the building that is required, and they have to have the right sustenance to support the building. So let's just speak simply here. Let's not make this complicated. The activity has spikes, boop, 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 3 spikes a week, but still their nutrition maintains that baseline. It's still level. Okay? Now, what's happening with their weight? I don't know. Ain't nobody talking about weight on LSJL forums or whatever. So we don't know. I don't know. Maybe their weight is staying the same. I don't know. Or roughly the same. There could be fluctuations, but maybe nothing that anyone notices. Ain't nobody keeping up with their weight. But they're thinking about their height. And what they notice, some of them, they see their height decreasing. I say the ones who have the decrease in height are the same ones whose activity baseline had those ticks, whether it was 3 ticks a week, 5 ticks a week, 6 or 7 ticks a week. Boop, 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 boop. Okay? All those upticks in activity. Their nutrition did not have corresponding upticks. As a result, a deficit was created. Because the uptick was very specific. The uptick was in their bones. Might I say, the height centers of their bone. Okay? It wasn't like in a bone like their arm or their finger. It was a bone that supports their height. One of their leg bones. And so they created an addition to their activity baseline that was not supported by the nutrition, and so that extra work created a deficit that they did not feel. They created a hunger that they did not feel. And when we're hungry, we break down. Same things happen with people. Just in general, if we hungry, our body starts to break down. If we take bodybuilders, to gain muscle and to get stronger and to make those muscles bigger, you got to load them heavy enough, and you got to do enough repetitions. And keep on doing that without food, without feeding the muscle. At best, you will maintain your strength. At best. But on a more realistic basis, you will lose strength bit by bit, even though you are following the correct activity protocols. Your muscle will shrink even though You are doing the right work. It's simple. It's simple. You can be doing the work to grow muscle. But if you do not support the work with your nutrition, and see, if you're really trying to grow muscle, you can't eat regular like you did before. If you ain't been trying to grow muscle, you just eat like you eat. But once you're trying to grow muscle, there's an uptick in your activity, and there must also be a corresponding uptick in your nutrition. It seems a lot of people in the LSJL community don't seem to understand that. At least not when I was looking into them. They didn't seem to understand that. Now, add to that the second thing. People in the LSJL community are not trying to gain weight. They're not even thinking of that. Don't matter who you are. An inch gonna cost you about 6 pounds if you're in that healthy weight range. If you're a small frame, an inch is gonna cost you 5.4 pounds. If you're a medium frame, an inch is gonna cost you 6 pounds. If you're a large frame, an inch is gonna cost you 6.6 pounds. They're not trying to gain the weight. You see what I'm saying? See, if their nutrition only matched their uptake in activity, then perhaps their height would stay the same at least. If their nutrition just matched their increase in activity. It don't matter if you're sweating or not. During that LSJL, that is an activity. That is a hunger that needs to be fed. When you do that, you're calling on your body to do something. Okay, your body needs the energy to do it. You're calling upon your bones to grow when you do LSJL. So you should give your body the energy to do it. But if you only just met the need, okay, maybe your height wouldn't decrease and it'll stay the same. But as we have learned now, if you really trying to gain height, you're trying to gain pounds. It don't matter what you're doing. A certain height calls for a certain amount of weight gain. Now, I can hear the voices right now. I can hear them. But I'm only working on bone. Listen. Maybe you only working on bone, but your body ain't worried about all that. You could be applying LSJL to your bone, but when it comes to the growth, that's your body's business. That's what your body takes care of. You didn't invent that. Even your body didn't invent it. Your body is just following the blueprint. My point is, if your bone is growing, best believe your muscles are growing too. Your skin, there may be some changes in your skin, other connective tissues. It's a whole lot going on in your body. Your body working on all that other stuff. And again, that's a need. That's a need that needs to be filled. And so a person could be thinking of doing LSJL and all they're thinking of is calcium. LSJL, assuming it works, and I believe it works, it's growing more than just the bone. It's growing more than that. Other things are taking place. The whole body is a unit. A lot is going on. I tried to make this short, but it ain't been short. So hey, this is it. I hope you get it. I hope you understand. With LSJL, people were creating a hunger they did not feed. If they only met the hunger, if they only basically, on a minimal level, satisfied the new appetite that they created in their body, maybe their height would have stayed the same. But to really go for the growth, there is a certain cost. Now, of course, the question comes, okay, what do you feed that growth with? How does one gain the weight? We'll get to that later. First, we need to get these basic concepts down. Because for a lot of people, there's a mental block here. There's a fear. And so we need to address this, and it's not hard. It's not hard. If you create an uptick into activity, there also needs to be an uptick in nutrition. Just to maintain height homeostasis, if you will. Just to maintain your current levels that you're used to. But if you're trying to create growth, there needs to be a surplus, if you will. A surplus. And there's more I can say, but that's that. Hope you get the point. And peace.